Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to review the new Netflix movie A Futile and Stupid Gesture, a movie that is based on the creation of National Lampoons, the comedy empire that it became. And primarily it focuses on the life of Doug Kenny, but also focuses quite heavily on Henry Beard as well, the two writing comedy partners that essentially created National Lampoons. And this, for me, was an interesting movie to watch because I kind of grew up in the 80s with the National Lampoons movies when they were at their most powerful. You know, the Animal House, I know that was 70s, but you've got your National Lampoon's Vacation and the Caddyshacks, and all these comedies were very influential to me as I grew up, and I think they're all really classic comedies, very much so. But also to me, what I found really interesting about this movie is what it taught me about National Lampoons away from the movies. And this film basically shows you how National Lampoon came to be and how it grew into this huge comedy empire. It started out as a small magazine that grew to be this huge success. So it started as a magazine, and then it grew into, like, they started doing radio shows. They collaborated with a lot of the young comedy actors at the time, you know, the Bill Murrays, the Chevy Chasers, the John Belushis, the Harold Ramises, you name it, all the major comedy stars of the time, all, generally speaking, got their start in National Lampoons. So I found it really, really fascinating. And like I say, it focuses on the life of Doug Kenny primarily. It doesn't bore you with, like, his life as a child. And you do get some facts about his time when he was growing up, that he lost his brother at a young age and all this kind of stuff. But it really starts off when they're in college, and they could have gone on to, you know, very successful careers doing other things, but they chose to, like I say, start the National Lampoons magazine, and how they both as writing partners grew from there and grew the comedy empire from the magazine. And it was really, really fascinating to watch. And it covers many things in this movie, like I say, the magazine, the radio show, and also the movies. It focuses heavily mainly on Animal House, how Animal House came to be now, and came to be at the time the most successful comedy at the box office ever, and its follow-up, Caddyshack, which was the second National Lampoons movie. But also it touches as well on, as these people tend to be, like, the, you know, the flawed geniuses that they are. It touches on the dark times as well, and tragic times. But actually taught me an awful lot about National Lampoons that I didn't know, because I'll be honest, even though I knew it was more than the movies, certainly in America, but being from the UK, I mainly only know it for the movies. I suppose it's a bit like the American Monty Python, maybe, something like that. That's the only really comparison I can make. But I know it mainly for the movies, but this movie, thankfully, taught me more about National Lampoons and how huge the magazine was, and the radio shows being so popular, and how these huge giants in comedy got their start. And it was a really, really fascinating watch, but above all that, really, it wasn't just a fascinating watch, it was funny too. Thankfully, a movie like this would need to be funny because it's about comic geniuses, basically, and it is funny. It's also quite meta as well. They do the talking to the camera bit. It's quite clever in how they present the movie. It kind of throws you a couple of red herrings. It certainly did me. It threw me a red herring, something that I didn't expect, in regards to the ending. And I thought this was a really well made movie that was well informed, that's got mountains of comedy actors that make their appearance in this movie. I mean, too many to go through, but there's a lot of famous faces in this movie that are playing other famous people, like the Chevy Chase and the Bill Murrays and the Harold Ramises, and you've got so many. But I would imagine that so many working actors today, especially comedy actors, would have so much respect for National Lampoons that they would probably want to make this movie or be involved, and many of them are. And I can't really give you a huge amount of faults for this movie. It's not gonna, blow you away. It's nothing massively credible or anything, but it's a really good watch and it's informative. You'll learn from it, and it's funny too. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this movie. If you're a fan of stuff like this, it's definitely one to check out.